In the shadows of abandoned fields, under the quiet veil of rural America's nights, there are sounds only those close to nature would recognize. The rustle of dry grass being trampled, a low hiss like the wind but heavy and close to the ground, and then a deep grunt that feels like the earth itself is being torn apart. These are the sounds signaling a threat's arrival, the invasive wild hog. Wild hogs, or feral hogs, are no strangers to many rural areas. But few could have predicted that these once domesticated animals would escape their pens, thrive in the wild, adapt to harsh conditions, and become one of the most dangerous, invasive species America has ever faced. Unchecked by natural predators and free from human control, wild hogs spread like weeds after a rainstorm, but the consequences they leave behind aren't just barren patches of land. They threaten the collapse of both agricultural and urban ecosystems. These creatures possess traits that make them a true nightmare. Weighing up to 150, 200 pounds, capable of running at speeds of 30 miles per hour, and with an extraordinary reproductive rate sow, can produce 4 to 6 piglets per litter. 2 to 3 litters a year. Wild hogs don't just spread, they explode in population. Herds can number in the dozens, and they move like a wrecking crew. Wherever they go, the soil is churned, crops are uprooted, soil microorganisms are disrupted, and everything is left in ruins. Crops are their first target. Fields of corn, wheat or soybeans, the fruits of months of hard labor, can be destroyed in a single night by a hungry herd. They don't just eat, they dig, trample and root for tubers and larvae, leaving behind deep pits, jagged scars and barren soil unfit for planting. A farmer in Oklahoma once said bitterly, "They leave nothing but despair. The rows I planted with sweat and tears, they destroy in minutes." But what makes these animals truly terrifying isn't confined to rural areas. Over the past decade, wild hogs have begun encroaching on urban spaces. Park lawns, children's playgrounds, golf courses, and even residential backyards have become their targets. At night, security cameras in suburban neighborhoods capture unbelievable footage. Massive wild hogs lumbering over fences, tearing through trash cans, uprooting flower beds, and even chasing pets or attacking people if they feel threatened. More than once, authorities have had to intervene after panicked residents called in, "There's a monster in my backyard." And it's no exaggeration. Adult wild hogs, with their dark, bristly hair, glowing red eyes in the night, and curved tusks like daggers, could easily be mistaken for creatures from a sci-fi movie. Wild hogs aren't deterred by streetlights or car horns. They've been recorded crossing highways, causing dozens of serious traffic accidents in Texas and Georgia. No fence can stop them. They're patient, cunning, and quick learners. Some even avoid infrared cameras or refuse to enter traps if they sense anything suspicious. In nature, intelligence is a survival tool. In this case, it's a weapon against humans. And the scariest part? The silence they bring. Unlike other invasive species that announce their presence like starlings, brown snakes, or insects, wild hogs come at night quiet but relentless. By the time you notice, it's too late. Your garden is unrecognizable, your field is torn apart, and the damage runs into thousands of dollars all in a single night. Wild hogs are the perfect invaders, strong as beasts, cunning as predators, and as dangerous as a plague. They don't destroy out of instinct, but as if they have a strategy. Every place they pass through is a warning that nature, once disrupted, will retaliate in ways no one could foresee. And this is just the beginning of the story. The next part will reveal details about the hardest hit areas and why, despite all efforts, humans have yet to stop the advance of these creatures. After nights of silent destruction, people started asking, just how far have wild hogs spread, and what have they destroyed? The answer isn't simply crops or neighborhoods. It's a long list stretching across states, from vast farms to children's playgrounds, from remote forests to crowded suburbs or unwilling battlegrounds in the war against this invasive species. In Texas, the situation is so severe it's almost a part of daily life. With over 3 million wild hogs, nearly a third of the US total, Texas is the epicenter of this ecological storm. From the eastern plains to the western mountains, no place is safe. Livestock ranches rebuild fences weekly as hogs repeatedly knock them down. Fields of corn, soybeans, and even cattle grazing pastures are torn up beyond use. In the San Antonio area, one farmer reported losing over 60% of his summer yield in just 4 days. All evidence pointed to a herd of wild hogs caught on nighttime cameras. Georgia and Alabama, southern states with humid climates and fertile soil, are also seen as promised lands by wild hogs. They swarm peach orchards, destroying roots, eating unripe fruit, and digging pits that ruin irrigation systems. Not just crops, but chickens, ducks, rabbits, and other small livestock mysteriously disappear. For many small-scale farming families, the arrival of wild hogs is tantamount to bankruptcy. In California, where people picture lush vineyards in Napa Valley or thriving vegetable fields in Central Valley, wild hogs have a different strategy. Hiding in urban-adjacent forests by day and raiding farms at night. While wineries plan harvests, a herd can sweep in, devouring ripe grapes overnight. Worse, their tracks and feces cause many areas to fail food safety standards, multiplying financial losses far beyond physical damage. But it's not just agriculture. Wild hogs challenge urban infrastructure too. In suburban Atlanta, families report hogs appearing in backyards, grazing lawns, breaking fences, and causing dogs to bark incessantly. One mother recounted a terrifying moment when, preparing to take her kids to school, she found a hog the size of a cow lounging on her lawn. It didn't run, didn't flinch, just stared at her with glowing red eyes. Parks and preserves aren't spared either. At Florida's Everglades National Park, conservationists report large numbers of wild hogs digging up soil, eating rare bird eggs, and destroying mangrove forests. They erode soil and ruin habitats for dozens of protected native species. The situation is so severe that some areas have closed to visitors for hog eradication efforts. Another unavoidable issue is road safety. With their massive size and nocturnal habits, wild hogs cause thousands of accidents annually. They dart onto highways, crashing into cars and causing drivers to lose control. Some accidents are so severe they claim human lives all caused by a fearless hog. Even more alarming is the disease risk. Wild hogs carry dangerous pathogens, from African swine fever to leptospirosis and parasitic worms. These can spread to livestock and, in some cases, to humans through food or close contact. This forces the livestock industry to ramp up biosecurity, costing millions annually. The spread of wild hogs is no longer just one group's problem. It's a comprehensive, multi-sector crisis affecting agriculture, transportation, healthcare, conservation, and public safety. They don't just cause material damage, they sow fear, anxiety, and a growing sense of helplessness across society. Experts have warned if we don't control this species in the next few years, no part of America will be safe. The question is, how will humans respond? Can we stop a creature so stubborn, intelligent, and prolific that it outpaces what any ecosystem can handle? The answer, at least part of it, lies in the next section. Defensive measures, smart trapping technology, and the weapons humans are forced to wield to protect their land, families, and crops. After all the losses and panic, humans can't just stand by. From farmers who've lost entire harvests to environmental engineers, from professional hunters to state authorities, an uneasy alliance has formed. The sole objective: halt the spread of invasive wild hogs. This war is not simple. The enemy isn't an easily controlled creature, but millions of intelligent, fast, and hyper-reproductive animals surpassing any native wildlife. To fight back, humans have combined modern technology, traditional skills, and high-powered weapons. The first step is understanding hog behavior. They typically emerge at dusk or night, hiding by day in dense brush, riverbanks, or low-traffic areas. They don't stick to one territory, but roam toward food sources. Based on this, communities have deployed 24/7 monitoring systems with infrared cameras and motion sensors. In Texas, groups like the Feral Hog Task Force use night-flying drones to map herd movements, analyzing and predicting their paths. This data is shared through local farmer networks, helping them identify high-risk areas to set traps or prepare defenses. Trapping wild hogs is an art. A simple pit or cage won't do. Hogs learn quickly if one is caught, the rest won't return. So people use smart trap circular enclosures with remote control gates operated via smartphone. Only when the entire herd is inside does the operator close the gate, maximizing efficiency. But for large herds, traps aren't always enough. When destruction spirals out of control, the only option left is controlled hunting. And here's the question: what kind of firearm can stop these beasts? Comparison of wild hog hunting weapons. AR-15, 223 Remington. Pros: lightweight, easy to handle, fast firing rate. Cons: limited stopping power, unlikely to down an adult hog with one shot, risk of wounding rather than killing, making the animal flee and become more dangerous. R-10.308 Winchester. Pros: superior power, high penetration, can drop a large hog with one accurate shot. Cons: heavier, significant recoil, not ideal for beginners. Shotgun 12-gauge slug. Pros: devastating at close range, effective in dense forests or brush. Cons: short range, less effective against distant or fast-moving targets. Handgun, pistol, only used as a last resort. Low stopping power and poor accuracy in field conditions. Dedicated rifles, bolt action .30-06, .300 Win Mag. For professional hunters, used for selective kills or long-range shots with clear lines of sight. In parts of Texas, helicopters have even been deployed to track and eliminate herds moving through forests and fields. However, this costly solution is only viable for large-scale campaigns with state approval. But the issue isn't just about weapons. Winning this war requires large-scale cooperation between communities, long-term government commitment, and a shift in societal perspective. Hunting can't be left to a few gun enthusiast sites. A collective effort to protect habitats, food supplies, and public safety. Some states have introduced programs like year-round, unlimited hog hunting permits, bounties for each hog killed, subsidies for farmers to install cameras and traps. Yet many argue these efforts are too slow. While humans hold meetings, wild hogs invade hundreds more acres of farmland. This is no longer just a rural issue. It's a profound lesson in ecological imbalance, showing how a seemingly harmless animal can upend the natural order when unleashed from its limits.